AskReddit by Regina Buffet. If you are not frequent airplane traveler and someone asks you to switch your window seat for their kid, what would you do? Say? Depends on whether I paid extra for that seat and what seat I was trading for. Yep. I'll always trade for a seat closer to the front. I'm not trading a window seat for a middle seat regardless. I have a friend who is a very frequent flyer. Always gets window or aisle. Always puts on her earphones as soon as she sits down. She's been asked several times to switch seats. Usually ignores the people, pretending she can't hear them. Most leave her alone. 2 or 3 haven't, and tap her on the shoulder until she responds. She has just looked at them and smiled, saying no, thank you. That doesn't work for me, and puts the earphones back on. This has kind of confused these people and they leave her alone. Got on a flight that was like 10 hours and a guy was sitting in my aisle seat. Told him he was in my seat. He said I could sit in his. His was the middle seat in the middle bank of 5 seats. Said no, I want my seat thanks. He said no, the other seat was better and I would like it better there. I said if it was better he shouldn't mind sitting in it. Took about 5 minutes of conversation to get him to move. I assume these folks are just counting on people not wanting to make a fuss, but seriously? I got scolded for this exact scenario on a trip a few weeks ago. The mom asked if I would switch the window seat for the middle seat so her child could look out the window. She didn't even offer her aisle seat because she would be uncomfortable in the middle seat. I'm 6'3". She was maybe 5'5" tops. I told her it was absurd of her to ask. She got the flight attendant involved. They asked if I would move. I asked where they would move me that would be convenient for me. They said first class. Lady was not impressed that I got upgraded. Wait, she wanted you to sit in the middle between her and her child? That's the weirdest part about this for me. I'll swap a window for an aisle, but I'm not sitting in the middle. Edit. Ugh. Aisle. Sorry, P. I sleep leaning against the wall of the plane. So an aisle isn't equal for me. So it's a hard nope from me. Had a dude ask to swap my exit row aisle with his non-exit row partner's middle seat. It was a quick no, and he seemed shocked. He pouted the whole flight. I took a nap. Sounds like he should have offered his exit row seat to a person in non-exit sitting next to his wife. Does he not love her? Exclamation point. S. I always pay for my seat selection. I've had people ask me if I could swap for multiple reasons. I always reply with I paid for the seat selection. The best one was a young couple that asked. I was sitting in the emergency exit row, gives you more legroom. He was sitting next to me. He asked if his partner could swap with me because she needed legroom due to her having knee pain. I replied with my usual answer. He sent her back to her seat and he sat back down next to me. Guess he really cared about her knee pain. If she was disabled, knee pain, she has no business sitting in emergency exit row. I had something like this happen to me once. I was traveling across the country for work, about a 5-hour flight. I had a window seat, and in the middle was a boy around 10-11. A few minutes before takeoff, a gentleman comes to me and asks if I'd be willing to trade seats with him, so he could sit next to his son and his son could have the window. He was super polite about it, but I was skeptical at first, but he showed me his ticket. First class. I happily accepted his offer, but I had to know why he was willing to trade when he had first class. He told me that it was his son's first time flying and he tried to find seats together with a window but couldn't. He said he bought the first class ticket with the intention of offering a trade so he could sit with his son. He even bought me a drink while on the flight. Now that right there is the most proper way to get a seat trade. I got guilted into it once. The kid spent the entire time on their iPad and complaining that the plane wasn't as nice as the ones his dad takes him on trips on. This is the main reason I don't swap. I'm looking out that window 50% of the flight, not to quick looks and an iPad. Happened to me once, but it was more like I was told. We've taken the window for my son, but you can have the aisle. I politely declined. I hate the aisle and I love the window, and I booked the window. 12-hour death stares, but I don't care if you want the window. Book a window seat. Wow. We've taken the window. The balls. I trade for the aisle with a parent in the middle, but then I prefer the aisle. Yeah, I always book the aisle if I can manage it. I don't want investigators to be confused if we all end up shard corpses and all they have to go by is the original seating chart. You never know. Wink. What? You didn't know this is a Boeing? Nope. Now offer me $200 to prove your love for your child. Let's make it interesting. Now, offer me money. Yes. Power 2. Promise me that. All that I have and more. Please. Offer me everything I ask for. Anything you want. I want my window seat back, you son of bitch. I picked the seat I picked and I'm going to sit there. Look, I have a 3-year-old. I get it. But they should have planned better so their kid can see outside at the clouds blowing past. And a 3-year-old ain't going to remember much. Plus they'll have lots more years of opportunities to be on a plane again. No, it's my seat and I'm going to sit there. Sorry, I already licked the window. You wouldn't want it now. I'm not trading for a middle seat. I almost certainly paid extra to select my seat, and I am not moving to a bad seat. Parents need to pay to select seats together when they are booking. Am I getting another window seat? No? Then, no. Sorry. I specifically chose the window so I could lean against it and sleep. This is exactly why I always choose window seats. I sleep from wheels up to wheels down. No. Listen, we all know what that whole thing is. If you want to sit next to someone, buy a guaranteed seat. People are picking cheaper the airline picks where you sit tickets under that assumption that they will be able to bully people into moving. Eater, they aren't bullying them, they are just pestering them. Guilt tripping them isn't the retort you think it is, people. Wait until you meet the special breed of asshole who doesn't buy a seat for their infant toddler, then goes roaming the aisles looking for an empty seat so they can bully the people sitting next to it into swapping. Nope. When I plan to fly, I will book the flight well in advance and carefully book my seat, window, aisle or emergency aisle. If there's an extra fee, I'll pay it gladly. People who want to trade seats to A. Sit next to someone, or B. To have more legroom can pound sand. Your problem is not my problem. Learn to plan better. I recently had a mom friend with 2 toddlers buy the cheaper plane tickets where they don't pick their seats. She posted to our girls chat a picture of a guy who wouldn't trade his window seat with her aisle seat to be next to her kids. Everyone in the chat was shaming that guy. But where is the accountability on the mom? If it's that important for you to sit with your kids, then why didn't you pay to ensure that? And I'm the type of person that prefers a window seat than the aisle, so I always make sure I get my window seat. No, if they wanted a window seat, they should have booked it. Absolutely not. I pay for that seat. I pick it specifically so I can enjoy the view on my flight. I enjoy watching the clouds and the wing and flaps in action. There are only a handful of seats that I prefer, so when I get one, it's mine. I once had a lady ask me if I could close my window for the entire flight because she was scared. I looked her dead in the eyes and said, sorry, but I got this seat to use the window. You'll have to look the other way. You really won't close the window for me? Nope. Got to enjoy my view for the next 6 hours and she made it through the flight just fine. Everyone knows that the person with a window seat gets the chose if when it's open and closed. Simple plane etiquette. This is my seat, I'm not going anywhere, and I'm showing my ticket. Anyone else read this like a marine? This is my seat. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Well, thanks for the offer, but I don't think I'm ready to have a child in my life at the moment. My answer would be no. If you want your kid to have the window seat, then buy a ticket for that seat. Nah, I always pre-book my seats and pay extra. I really don't care what the excuse is. If you cared more than I did about the seat, you would have pre-booked it and paid. The issue isn't courtesy here, the issue is people not wanting to pay the extra for pre-book seating and then trying to play musical chairs before the plane takes off. Absolutely not. These people purposely avoid buying the seats they need in hopes of pressuring someone to give up theirs. Nope.